What is up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back today, and today it'll just be me, no Ethan today. We are going to be, or I am going to be covering college football, week one, big week, football, lots of fantasy drafts this weekend, week before NFL. So we're going to get right into it, and we're going to be talking about my school, soon to be school next semester, the USF Bulls against the ACC NC State Wolfpack. Last year it was a rough one for USF, going 1-8. Um, there's not really much to be said about that season. I'm just glad that they've got to play 9 games due to COVID. NC State, however, had a pretty salvageable season at 8-4. I think they're returning some key guys, so they should be pretty decent. As you look at the line here, it's minus 18.5 for NC State. The over under 59. I think USF may compete in the first quarter, but they don't really have a lot of talent this year, as I've looked into that. Lots of young guys, and that's why my prediction is USF 13, NC State 34. It'll be a blowout late. It may be competitive and close in the first half, but I just think NC State has too much talent and good coaching around them to make this a close game. So that's why I think they will win big. Next, for all my Sparty fans out there, on Friday night on ESPN, you got Michigan State traveling to Northwestern. Shout out Anthony Tyus, former Portage on the running back, first year Northwestern. So he'll be taking on the Michigan State Spartans. Last year, the Spartans had a pretty dismal year. The only positive thing is beating Michigan, but Michigan obviously sucked last year too. And the Northwestern had a pretty good year last year, 7-2. People were thinking they were a really good team last year, possibly contending with Ohio State. Unfortunately, they lost to them. But they're returning a lot of guys. And I just think Pat Fitzgerald, no, he's a good coach. And I think that Michigan State won't get by Northwestern. If this game was at Michigan State, I would say maybe Michigan State has a better chance to win, but I just think that too much uncertainty for Michigan State going into this game. And obviously Northwestern's favored by just 3 points, and the over-under is 45, and I'm going under, and I'm going to take Northwestern by 4. So if you're a betting man or woman, I'd hammer that. Next up, we have our first Saturday game. We got my hometown Western Michigan versus my favorite college team to root for, Michigan. Last year, Western had a pretty decent year. They only played 6 games in the MAC, went 4-2. Showed lots of promise last year, and what they'll bring to the table this year is Michigan last year had lots of uncertainty. People wanted Harbaugh gone. Milton transferred to Tennessee, just got announced as the starter, and that means Cade McNamara is going to be the starter on Saturday against Western. We'll see how he does. But I don't know if it'll be a short leash or not, because J.J. McCarthy is, right there with him. Michigan's favored by 17 here. Over under 67. I think that's a little high. I don't know why. I would definitely hammer that under. But I think Michigan will kind of destroy them. But then again, I don't know what Michigan team I'm going to get. Hopefully it's the good one. And I'm taking them to win by 27, 37-10 over Western. It'll be like the USF game on Thursday. Probably competitive in the first quarter. And then after that, it'll really show how Big Ten and MAC differ from each other. And Michigan will win in the blowout. Next, we got the first ranked team game, also at 12 on Saturday. This one will be on Fox. You got number 19 Penn State and number 12 Wisconsin. This will be a great game. Penn State had a pretty average year last year. Wisconsin, pretty same for them. Lots of high expectations for both these teams, as the Big Ten is kind of wide open this year. Besides Ohio State, there's always that other contender who's going to go Ohio State a run. And I think Wisconsin could be that team this year. They're favored by 5.5 here, over under 50. So they're kind of projecting a low-scoring game here. I would say I would say it'd be around there, and that's why my prediction is Wisconsin 27, Penn State 21. If this game was at Penn State, I would say otherwise. This would be maybe flipped score. Um, just it's the first game of the year for both these teams. I don't really know what these teams are going to bring to the table, but I'm going to give Wisconsin that advantage just because it's a home game to start the year. The next game, you have the defending champion, 13-0 Alabama Crimson Tide. Mac Jones left, Devonta Smith left, Najee Harris left, but they're just going to reload, bring the next stud in. It doesn't matter. It's Alabama and Nick Saban. And they're going up against a pretty promising team last year, Miami Hurricanes. They're ranked 14th this year, entering this year. I think that's a fair ranking. They showed a lot of potential last year in their quarterback play. This game could be pretty competitive. I mean, Alabama, I know, is favored by 19 and a half. Like, it's Alabama. You can't have a close game for Alabama. That's why my prediction is going to be Alabama 38, Miami 14. I just think Alabama has too much talent and great coaching for them to lose right now. And obviously, Nick Saban is just he knows how to prepare for a game, and it's on the road. I think maybe it's in Dallas. I'm not sure, but I know that, or maybe it's in Georgia. I don't know. It's in a neutral site, and Alabama fans travel well. So I just expect Alabama to blow out here. Also at 3:30, you on Big Ten Network, you have, I think, potentially the second best game of the day in Indiana and Iowa. I think Indiana is my sleeper team in the Big Ten here. I think if they win this game, they'll get off to a great start. Obviously, last year they went 6-2. Their quarterback went down, and then their play just kind of started dipping a little bit, but they were still a pretty competitive team. But I think he's back, and with that team, they just showed lots of fight and promise. So I think Indiana's going to squeak one out here against Iowa. It's always tough to play at Iowa, 23-21. But this game could be flipped too, just like the other one. I just don't know how it's going to play out, but I just got had a feeling that Indiana was going to win this one, and it's the Big Ten. It's going to be super competitive this year, and hopefully Michigan and like all these lower teams give some of these teams a run for their money. At 4, we have my friend Max Longman's UMass playing Pitt. I'm sorry, Max, but the team last year was not the best. And you're playing a team this year in Pitt who was pretty average last year record-wise. But, that line of minus 38 and over under 56, that's just disrespectful to UMass. I mean, they may not win this game, but I think it'll be a little closer than that. That's why I'm taking Pitt to win 41-10. And hopefully this UMass team is just a little better than last year. Hopefully they can get one win somewhere this year. And obviously it'll be a success compared to last year. But good luck to Max and Anthony and just everyone that's, I guess, a part of this program and whatnot. Next at 4:30, we have Louisiana Raging Cajuns versus Texas. Hook 'em. But I'm more of a horns down kind of guy. Probably get fined for that. But you got another ranked matchup in 23 versus 21. Texas is favored by 8.5, which is kind of a little high if you ask me. This Cajun team is obviously, if you're a non-Power 5 school and you're ranked early in the season, there's high hopes for you. So I think this game's going to come down to the fourth quarter, maybe last drive scenario, maybe OT. I'm not sure, not predicting that, but it could happen. The over/under is 58. I think it's just a tad high. Texas is going to squeak this one out at 34-28, and Texas lives to see another day. In the matchup of the day, of the week, of potentially the college football season, you got number 5 Georgia taking on number 3 Clemson. This is a big game, I would say, more for Clemson rather than Georgia, because Georgia obviously is in the SEC, better teams to play. But in the ACC, Clemson's pretty much it, besides a few like surprising teams like North Carolina every year. There's always one team in the ACC that makes a run. And DJ Uiagalelei for Clemson, I think it's his 3rd career start. I'm not sure, but he showed he played really good last year against Notre Dame. Unfortunately, they didn't win that game. Um, but he's not gonna. Clemson is not gonna miss a beat after losing Trevor Lawrence and ETN. But it won't matter because I'm taking the upset here, and I'm gonna take Georgia 23-20. I think it's gonna be a low-scoring affair. The defenses will play great, and I think Georgia's gonna potentially win this game-winning drive and kick a field goal to win the game. And then another game on Saturday, you got LSU, who's ranked 16th, and UCLA, who's already 1-0 this year. They played last weekend, blowout win against Hawaii. And they got Zach Charbonnet, who's from Michigan, transferred to UCLA and went off in the first game. If they keep handing him the ball just like they did, I see UCLA just kind of pounding LSU. I think they're a little too high ranked right now. I think they may fall out after this UCLA win. After UCLA wins this game, and UCLA jump into the top 25. And I think UCLA is going to kind of blow them out here, 39-24. So if you're a bettor and you want to take a kind of a risky bet, I would hammer this one and do the UCLA. In the last game I'm talking about this week, on Sunday night before the NFL season starts, you got number 9 Notre Dame versus taking on Florida State. I don't know what to say about this matchup. It's a good matchup from Notre Dame because they're an independent team, so they get to go play everybody whenever they want, pretty much. Florida State, this could be a really good character building win and a program win as well. I mean, it's a home game for them, so the crowd's gonna be doing the chant all game. But I just don't think it's gonna matter because Notre Dame's gonna pull away, potentially in the second half, third, fourth quarter. Just with that experience, I know that Ian Book's gone, but their backup QB is now their starter, who was pretty good last year. I think he played a little bit here and there, and he had Jack Cohn. I think that's his name. Cohen. I'm not sure, but I heard he's going to be pretty good. And Notre Dame was 10-2 last year, and I just think they're going to be around that this year, and that's why I think to start the year, Notre Dame is going to win 31-18. Well, that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks for watching. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. And Bench Buddy out.